Thank you, sir. You're the bestest. We can kick it off now, and this is Chasing Lions. So this is the second episode. We had trying to get into the studio, but finally we're here. I'm with Angie. She is the creative director at Wrapped. She's my colleague. We worked together a few times. I wish we could work a bit more. But yeah, and we're here today because Chasing Lions is all about people who don't know much about advertising in the advertising world. Where do you get inspiration? Where do we find those little trinkets of ideas? How do you derive into award-winning work? Essentially, hence the name Chasing Lions, because Cannes Lions is an award that we see as kind of like Oscars. So everyone runs towards it, but how do we get there? And hence the show. So here's we have Angie. You are a partner of Zama, when she was on our previous episode. Yeah, and just give us a bit of your background, where you came from. I know that you were at Brave in your previous life, and other than that, I don't know much.
Yeah,
of your history.
no, it's cool.
Cool.
I'm Angela Kwamongwe, creative director extraordinaire. I feel like, that's more fitting. Cool. But my pronouns are they or them. I've been in the industry for a while, right? So yes, you're right. My previous agency was House of Brave. Before that, it was Publicis. And before that, Ogilvy. I was actually at Ogilvy for the longest of all the agencies I've been at.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty dope,
Joburg or Cape Town?
Johannesburg.
Okay.
Yeah. And then before that, I think it was DDB.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've been around.
When McDonald's was there, or?
Yeah, when McDonald's was there, I think one of the campaigns that was really cool about, that we did at DDB was the F&B Steve campaign, right? That was very cool.
You were behind that?
No, I was a part of that team. Remember? Yeah, it's always weird for creatives when they say, I did that, because it's always a team, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you were part of the team
always
who created
a part of that. Yeah.
That was, I
was
have
really
so much opinions on that, but like good opinions. But
but it was quite an experience and a learning, most of all, because that time I was still a junior art director.
Okay.
Yeah, junior art director extraordinaire.
Manifesting.
Yeah, listen, we are out here, killing it.
Awesome.
So that's my journey basically in advertising, right? So as we're talking, you'll get to understand, my type of, creativity, what stands out for me, what I love, what I wish to see more of, in the industry. But really, I think the biggest thing is the Cannes Lions, right? Every creative wants that, right? And it's pretty dope.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so which year did you started working?
Start working in advertising? Hectic, jeez. I feel like now you're asking me maths questions.
When did I graduate?
I can't remember. It was like, I think 2010.
2010, okay.
Yeah, when South Africa was
2 years
buzzing,
before me.
It was just like, it was like things were happening in South Africa. The energy was absolutely amazing. Either 2009 or 2010, I can't remember. But I did my internship at Red Nail and Leo Burnett, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so pretty dope as well. The energy in advertising was still up there. The chasing for awards was absolutely amazing.
Oh, wow.
But my hunger for awards and really dope work started when I was in college, right, at AAA. One of the pieces that I worked on at AAA that was like a student project actually got nominated for one of like a Lurie, right? And I got a finalist. And I think that's when I started seeing that, I can turn my passion, what I love, into like an actual currency, right?
Wow.
Yearning for awards, striving for awards, but really putting yourself out there, because the work that I did there was a part of me, is a part of me.
Oh, wow.
Right, as a creative. Like whatever I put onto a layout or a canvas is a part of me, right? But the fact that you can get rewarded for this thing by, or rather seen by, getting awards or nominations and, getting a finalist is actually really absolutely amazing.
Okay.
It doesn't just end on paper or a canvas. It goes out there, right?
Wow.
Which is absolutely dope. So after Red Nail, went to DDB. I met really great people, the likes of
Was Gareth Lessing there?
Gareth Lessing. Listen, that dude is so dope.
I want him on the show at some point.
You know what I really love about him is the fact that, he's a creative through and through. So he gets excited about ideas. And that's, I think, what we also, that energy, we need more of that energy, right? From a creative leadership point of view, leaders who actually are passionate about good ideas.
Yes.
Right? We want to get the job done and make money, as an industry or as agencies, but we need more of that hunger, that passion to come through from our leaders and then, into the creative studio. So it was Gareth Lessing and Julie Monda, who was absolutely dope.
Heard that name?
Yeah, absolutely dope. I think she runs the I Did That Ad situation right now. Julie Monda.
So she started that.
Yeah.
I Did That.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, yes, that's why the name is so familiar. Correct. Cool.
Absolutely. So she's quite dope as well. Loves ideas, passionate about art direction and. So after DDB, I took a bit of a short left because that's when the world was sort of going digital. And I was like, let me try this digital agency. My goodness.
Where was that?
What a fail. So my thinking is I'm quite a conceptual art director, right?
Cool.
So I took a short lift into design or digital design when it was starting, but things were not quite figured out yet. So I found myself as a very conceptual art director working on banners. So I had to
But you still did it.
Yeah, I still did it, because everything I do, I have to put my best in it, right?
Correct.
And that's why you heard that I always end my title with extraordinaire. So whatever I was at that time, I was a digital design extraordinaire, right? Because I have to add a bit of my magic into whatever I do.
Oh, that's lovely.
Right? So that was that. Took a short left into that digital world. It wasn't quite figured out yet.
How come?
If I look at where digital is now, so now I think we're getting quite a dope understanding of what, digital advertising should be. It's not just a banner or an MPU with just a cute little design. It actually has to be quite interactive because they are human beings on a digital space, right? So back then it was just like MPU, this and that, and you just made a cute little design and that was it. There
What's
was
an
no
MPU?
experience. It's also advertising jargon.
Yeah, so one of the few things I'd like to unpack, and exactly what we said before the show, is we use these jargons so loosely, but we actually forget that there are a lot of people who don't know it. So I'll just, from time to time, I will interrupt, but so just to give more context for the people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should Google that one, to be honest. But it's one of the formats. So you see if you have like a homepage takeover, one of the sides, the thicker sides or the artwork is called an MPU. That other top one is called something else. That's how I understand it with my visual mind also, right? So that's that. So after that world, I went back into the conceptual world. I went to Ogilvy. Absolutely amazing time there.
Opportunities there.
Listen,
Opportunities.
right? Listen, and what I love about what they do there is that they really nurture creativity, guys. One of the things that Ogilvy does really great is they nurture the creative process. They understand how creative people operate, right? And I think, that's what always makes them unique, right? They really go in terms of ideas. They value the idea.
And I think that's why even if you speak to someone who's not in advertising, the household name Ogilvy always comes up for very good reason. They are the most awarded agency, I think, globally across the board. And again, for good reason, because they do things like that. I also heard from other people that Ogilvy, they spend time on the craft as well as conceptual stuff. We always fight that conceptually, if you land that, everything falls into place. It's so exciting to hear that you also got to have that experience.
Yeah, and a lot of people call it the School of Advertising for a reason.
Oh, nice.
Right?
So FOMO.
Listen, it's dope. But you know what? It's all about, if you've been at Ogilvy, how do you take that learning into like a wrapped world, right? So I think that's the key thing. It doesn't just stay at Ogilvy, it goes with us, right? So, attention to detail, craft, and, being passionate about ideas, right? So after Ogilvy, I think actually Ogilvy was quite an important part of my career, right? That's when I really got to have a voice in terms of also bringing a bit of myself into my work, right? So that's when the diversity chats were starting to happen.
That's when it clicked.
Right? And I was just like, listen, I need to fight for people who look like me to appear in ads, right? So that's when those conversations started. The conversations around, fighting for Black female voices, in advertising, right?
And that was the time when it wasn't a common thing.
Absolutely. Like a lot of my friends are not in advertising, right? Because it feels like it's very male heavy, right? So my job when I was at Ogilvy was, how do I inspire the Black girlies or girlies in general, right, to feel like they belong in this world and they can actually add value, right? So those are one of my biggest things there, but working on brands like your DSTVs was absolutely great. The clients are absolutely dope, right?
And have the money.
They have the money, listen, right? But it was a great experience. KFC as well, and all aspects of KFC, from a TV point of view, from a below-the-line point of view, even in-store, working on those menu boards. I never thought in my career that I would ever work on a menu board, but I touched that, right? And, I think that's what makes us, better creatives also. We understand everything. And again, that's why I say creative director extraordinaire.
I love that.
Comes with the whole, world.
And I'm so grateful that you just letting me know on all the steps that you have taken. And it's so critical because you come out of varsity and you think you're going to do all those amazing glitz and glamour work, and you obviously you aim for that, but you always tend to forget that there are other things that you need to also learn, like doing a menu board. I've done my time with steers, like to do those posters, to do those below the line work. You need to know those before you move on to something great and awesome. It's not easy, It's you kind of have to bite the bullet, but that's where you, like you're saying, you learn.
That's how you
and that's how you understand where concepts come from and ideas. It just doesn't come up from nowhere.
Yes, exactly. And seeing how you're absolutely right. Actually, that's a great point. How that concept also filters through to menu board, this and this and that. But when you're going through it, you almost like, this is what I felt anyway when I was working on menu boards. As a creative, I'm just like, I want to be bigger. I want to be like, why am I on menu boards? What's wrong with me? Am I
But
not
do it
creative?
right.
That imposter syndrome creeping in, right? So, but whatever I was touching, like I'm saying, I made it absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
right.
And do the best of your ability.
Exactly.
I remember I was working on a law firm's annual report. Annual reports, dude. It's just like, I can't remember, it was like a godly amount of pages, and you had to lay out. Someone had to sit behind that and lay those out, and I did my time in it.
Yeah.
You could look at it like, oh, why am I doing this? Or you can look at it like, I'm practicing my craft.
Yeah.
And when you practice your craft, you practice your eye to look out for these things, And I think that sometimes I feel that students overlook that, to do the time and spend the time and practice. Even though it's laborious and tedious, you kind of have to do that.
You learn.
You're
Absolutely
you learn.
right. Like, I've landed a hip replacement brochure. Like, I was just like, does traffic hate me? It was absolutely
Is that
shocking.
your weirdest thing you had to get
Listen,
involved
a
in?
hip replacement brochure.
Oh, yeah?
I was just like, no, there's no way. I need a career change. What's going on? But it happens and we learn from it, right?
Yeah.
It also expands your mind. But also one of the other things that really benefited me, but from working there was meeting great creatives at Ogilvy.
Yes.
The likes of Muli Fitulo, may his soul rest in peace, absolutely amazing. The likes of Z, who's also late, unfortunately, the Neo Mashikos, all these amazing people, right?
Oh, you were there when Neo was there.
Yeah, but just I was working on menu boards my first year at Ogilvy, yeah, but I could see the energy and how passionate they are about creativity and, awards. And I was just like, I want to see myself on stage as well, guys. I really, really want to be there, So, again, going back to that diversity chat, like seeing people who look like you making it actually gives you something to look forward to, right?
And sometimes in advertising we forget, of all the cool things we're in for. Like we there is those things. I remember when I was doing work on NetBank, they have this thing called brag ads.
Yeah.
It needs to be done. Like you can and some of my seniors back then, they were like, look, we may have won awards, but we still get stuck with brag ads. Those are the bread and butter of advertising.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, there will be those cool breakout briefs where you have a chance to then like, okay, cool, now's my time to shine. You just look at it that all the stuff you have done, all that hard work that led you up to that point.
You're right.
I want to take us back to just a few steps back. At what point did you meet Zama in your career
Zama.
path?
Oh, hectic. It was, I think, about 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was working at Publicis.
Okay.
Yeah, I was working on a brand. What was the brand? L'Oreal Dark and Lovely. And Giorganiers.
Wow, it's come full circle.
Listen,
Oh.
right? But it's I really enjoy that brand because it feels like it speaks to me, right? I was working on that. My copywriter at the time, Mponeng, was on leave, and Zama was freelancing for, I think, 3 months there. But, having met Zama then, like, we just gelled because, I think our mindsets sort of gelled from a creative point of view, from a, Womandla point of view as well. Yeah, we clicked. It worked, and Zama went away after her freelance gig was over, but we still kept in contact, right? Then we met again, I think a year later or a year and a half later at House of Brave. That's where we came together again, and again Zama was freelancing there as well.
Happy accident.
Yeah,
Okay.
listen, it's like we always find each other, but it's dope. And then we worked together there at Brave, also, fighting the good fight from a creative point of view, from a Black leadership point of view. We really supported each other because the reality is that, advertising can get a lot, especially for people of color, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So we sort of supported each other, while being creative. And, one thing about myself and Zama as we're working is like, we always showed up, right? Even though we are busy fighting these struggles, when it comes to work, listen, we're there. We're killing it.
You're
right?
serious.
Yes, exactly. And we've worked on some really dope work. Zam and I, one of them was that ad with Castanho Vest, what is it called? Nescafe Gold, right? Where he was with his family. Another one that we created together was the Tiger Brands Benny Stock Cube. The concept was Nasi Stoko, which was absolutely dope and funny. So yeah, we've created magic together, and yeah, we're still doing it.
And the thing I want to touch on to about that is when you and this is an exciting bit to look forward to in advertising careers is that you find your person. And when you find your person, it's almost like I'm just explaining this experience I had with my previous writer, Z Zitole. I'd like you to be on the show as well at some point. He got the shortlist recently for Dettol. Oh, that's the one I showed you.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
Z.
worked.
So he was my ex-writer.
Dope.
And when we had found each other, it's just like thankfully we had the same interests, which helps a lot. But also it's important to have the same wavelength. When you think of ideas, and then when you're on that the brainwave. When all those ideas starts coming up, you're like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And in that creative process is so important because you shouldn't be held back in certain things. You must just go, especially in the brainstorming stage. And when you find that person, it's just everything just clicks. Everything just falls into place.
Right.
Especially with creative concepts. You know, it's
Yeah.
ideas are so malleable. Anyone can just say, "Oh, but what about this?" But you need to be aligned.
Absolutely.
And also, creatives are very. This is probably a personal opinion, but we're quite sensitive, especially with our ideas, because they essentially they are part of us, you know. And when they get shut down, and I know as juniors, it's quite heartbreaking.
It's very heartbreaking.
You're so passionate about these ideas, and then when the CD says, "Okay, but not really," it's quite heartbreaking. But
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, I think, it also in advertising, you're right. You find your people, right? And actually today someone called me the people's whisperer, and I was just like, okay, well, I
it
guess,
labeled you as the
yeah,
okay.
because also in my journey, I have a few people that have really, worked together with me and created really amazing ideas, right? I mean, the likes of Lufuno Mabungu, who's absolutely an amazing writer and creative director.
Okay.
Andile Kambule, absolutely dope writer and creative director and creative thinker. Like brilliant, right? The likes of Kaumo, Chakela, dope art director. Like, I don't even think art directors are made like that anymore, right?
Wow.
They've got the potential to be there, but he is absolutely brilliant, right? So I've also met these amazing souls, creative souls, and just
Good
gelled
people.
with them. Yes, good people. Emphasis on good people, right?
Good people.
People who are passionate about ideas. It's not about the egos, the this and that. No, let's just make beautiful work. And I was actually fortunate enough to work on a really, really meaningful campaign. It's called the Shave to Remember campaign. Yeah, so that was
you. It was
listen.
you.
Like I said, with all these ideas, there's always a group, a collaboration, right? So I can't remember everyone, but the idea was birthed by Andile Kambule, actually. He's a writer, right?
Okay.
So we collaborated on that idea with Andile, Kamo, Chakela, and myself, and exploded that idea. And then, because we know that proactive ideas take forever to make, a lot of people came on that journey. The likes of Marion, Brian, who is also an amazing art director, really passionate about art direction. The likes of Ahi Masekela, like a lot of people, Tando, a lot of people that I've worked with, to create that campaign, which is absolutely amazing. And it was quite a meaningful campaign because it stands for one of the things that really we believe in, like bringing our heroes back, the people that fought for our freedom, like Nelson Mandela, the likes of Winnie, So those are the kinds of ideas that we really hold close to our hearts. And by the grace, of the higher power, it got to see the light of day and won a couple of awards, a lot of awards, actually, the Luri Grand Prix. It was flippin' dope.
So the people who haven't seen this ad, can you give me like a quick synopsis of what it is? I'd like to hear from you because I'm a huge fan of that. That I didn't know it was you. From my perspective, I love the idea. You could see, certain ads. You could see it's a proactive, but this was proactive for a purpose.
Yes.
And it was such a lovely insight. But I'd love to hear from you. For the
Yeah.
people who have never heard about it.
Yeah.
What is it?
So, like I said, it was a collaboration, right? So when we spoke about it with Andile and Gamo, the aim was to really inspire South Africans to embody, Madiba, like become a Madiba in your everyday life, in a nutshell, right? And you do this by shaving the Madiba haircut, right? And the brand that we partnered with to bring that idea to life was Philips hair clippers. But if you think of that line, it's called the Madiba line, right? Everybody knows that.
So
just by wearing that simple haircut, what we were aiming to do is inspire people to embody the values of Madiba.
Philosophies of
Exactly.
of Madiba.
That was it in a nutshell. But the collaboration was dope. The thinking, like I'm telling you now, Andile's thinking, absolutely fire. He loves also like purposeful work. I love purposeful work.
Agreed.
Kamu loves purposeful work, you know what I mean? And when we came together, it was a no-brainer, right? We all felt it, we all wanted the idea to come to life. You know, it was absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Oh wow! Yeah, and again, well done. It was such a phenomenal piece of work. Um, to get it to surface, how difficult must it have been? Like you, okay, cool. You presented the idea. You had an idea first. You found a client that was able to jump on board.
Yes.
Which is Philip. Like big ups to Philip.
Phillips.
Because I mean, there's a lot of bravery on both ends. You know, coming with ideas, one side of the bravery. Clients to be on board with that and to put your brand to an idea like that, it also takes a bit of bravery. After that, you've sold it and everything. How difficult was it to action in terms of putting it on the ground, filming it, making it a campaign? Tell me about that struggle.
That's always the tricky part, right? It took a total of about 4 years to make, to be exact.
4 years.
4 years. So
I heard it was long, but I didn't know it was that long.
It was long. It's also proactive. You have to keep driving it. Also, as a creative, you need to chase your ideas and bring them to life, and not just say, listen, we've been trying, let's let it go. This one, we actually hung on to this one. So the idea was sold, and also clients change, and you now need to resell it to them.
Hence why it took so long.
Exactly. But some of the people who helped us on the journey was your Mulefi Tulos, your Peter Little actually had quite a big
he was
role.
involved.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. In bringing it to life, because also I think Andile had left Ogilvy at some point. I left Ogilvy, and whoever was at Ogilvy at the time, I think it was Marion, Steph van Niekerk. Steph also was a part of that journey. Dope writer as well, dope CD. So it took a lot of people to really bring this idea to life.
So you've left Ogilvy when the idea was still in its infancy stage. Is that what happened?
Not infancy, when it was getting made.
But then you had left.
Yes. Yeah, but knowing the people of Ogilvy as well, they always work together. So you don't really leave. You never really leave Ogilvy. You're always a part of that family, right? So I was in contact also with the likes of your Marion Bryans, as the ads were being made. So when it was launching, we were there, but yeah.
That's a beautiful story.
It took a listen. And it also talks about, how we are as South Africans. It takes a village, right? So that we saw it come to life literally when the ad was being made. A lot of people came together to bring that ad to life.
I always say this to my to Z. It feels like making an award-winning ad requires the stars to be aligned, because it's not just come with a good idea. Everyone needs to believe in it. So that's the one part of selling.
Yeah.
You need to sell your idea, be convincing that everyone gets that same feeling.
Yes.
And the one thing I'm so fascinated by your story is you had left, and people still believed in the idea.
Listen.
So that makes me so excited.
It was really such an amazing thing. And you know what we actually did? We went around Ogilvy campus and tagged the walls with that Shape to Remember thing, right? Sorry, not thing, the actual shape.
Okay.
Right? So part of the visual language was the shape of the actual haircut. So Madiba hairstyle with that line. We literally went around the campus and tagged the walls with that. So you couldn't miss it.
So much fun.
Yeah, it was absolutely dope. But
Well
I love
done.
how it came together eventually, Yeah.
I just wish the world had a bit more of that.
That's what we need to do. I love how you're so passionate about ideas. I
am.
can literally see your eyes have that sparkle when, you have that amazing idea, which is absolutely dope, hey?
That's so awesome. We can let me rephrase. And that's why I love ideas, is because, when it lands, when you come up with the concept and it's getting made, people believe in it, and the cherry on top is just getting that award. What did it get? It did well at Luris?
Yes.
Did you guys did they enter it for Cannes or any of the international awards?
Into Cannes. I think Cannes, what we got from that was shortlists. But
Still
one
good.
show, there was a pencil there by one show.
Got a
It was-
pencil?
Yes.
Converted?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Listen, Clios, there were a couple of awards, there's silvers, golds, also for the different categories, right? Social impact category, digital. It was also done really, really well. Like, if I look at someone
clean.
like Marion Bryan and her passion for art direction and executing, work and consistency and just clean, beautiful work. She's so brilliant, guys. Like, when you look at that campaign now, either on YouTube, the case study, everything looks so beautiful
Yes.
and clean,
Yes.
right? Because her level of detail also and attention to detail is so brilliant.
People
Yeah.
overlook craft, eh? Like people are, like, I remember I was talking to someone who's not in advertising, and they were saying, like, who cares about that little bit of thing?
Yeah.
That little bit of a nudge of the logo. I'm like,
Listen,
we do.
we do.
Because if we don't care about it, who will?
Exactly,
Cool.
exactly. So it felt really rewarding, to be honest,
Well
to
done.
get recognized for like really good work. I remember there was a time when we were working on these posters, as art directors, myself and Kamo Chakela, and I had just had a child, right? But I stayed up until like 3 a.m., literally illustrating those Madiba fists into the shape of, the hairstyle, one by one, right? Little fist to form that Madiba hairstyle.
Wow.
Like, I stood up for that because it's something that I love.
But you believed in it.
Yes, but it's something that felt like a purpose. It's something that like one of my values, right? Something that I stand for, fighting for our people, keeping the, our heroes' names alive, right? It's something
That's
that's
so
quite
fascinating.
close to my heart.
Before I end of this section of
Yeah.
it, what did so I'm assuming that when it picked up a few medals, there was a whole long list of credits. I'm assuming your name was on it. What did winning that award do for you in your career?
Sheesh. It did quite a lot, right? So the credits were quite long, but, our names were there, right? You got to see yourself on that list of, when Lurie's put out that list that says, top art director,
You were
in
there.
Africa. My name was there. And I was just like, listen, guys, like, Daddy, I made it. Listen, right? So it was absolutely amazing to see yourself, with one of the greats, with some of the greats, number one. But also another thing that we don't really chat about, in advertising is the money chat.
It's an easier conversation to have.
Exactly. That, that world, it made that world easier, right? So the money chats became easier. I was just like, listen, I want this kind of money. And, they didn't even have to go, but why? Why
Yes.
do you think you deserve it? I mean, hi.
Here it is.
Hello.
What do you got to say?
All right? Yeah, we're out here. So it really helped in that regard because one of the things we never really speak about, guys, as creatives is the financial chats, right? We deserve to be rewarded, quite fairly, right? Most of the times, a lot of people, creatives, say they work on passion, but passion doesn't pay the bills, guys.
Doesn't pay the bills,
It really
unfortunately.
doesn't. So it makes that chat easier. And one of the other things that I always say to creatives, the younger creatives, is like, guys, you need to put your ideas out there. When you win awards, whether it's an ad of the month, a Lurie, a this, a that, an Effie, it adds to your social, your creative currency, right? But that money chat becomes easier,
And that's a struggle I faced when I was going through my career. I didn't win those awards. This is my personal experience. I had this very love-hate relationship towards awards because I'd never had one.
Yeah.
Even now, like, I don't think I've won like a gold. I've got a 2 bronze, but it's not. I don't feel like it's my name should be there because I just helped. It wasn't. I wasn't there from the beginning. That's another thing for a different discussion.
Yeah.
But because I didn't, the money discussion was much harder. Although I was very thankful to land a few jobs and obviously proved myself through hard work.
Yeah.
I try to I try to be nice to everyone. I try to if they ask me to do something, I'll do it. I don't moan. Obviously, I would complain. I mean, South Africans, we complainers, but
Yeah.
after that, you just put your head down and do the work, and focus on those good ideas. And you're right, putting those ideas out does help. It's stress tested, and which then leads to my next thing is, and I don't feel like just juniors do it enough. The ones that I've engaged with is they don't see enough award-winning work. There's always the D&AD that come around. There's Cannes Lions that just happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just watching those allowed me to almost grow an extra wrinkle in my brain. It's like, I didn't know you could think like that. You made those connections. That is genius.
Yeah.
That's why I get excited.
Yeah.
And what I did was, this is again, what I did in when I was moving from juniors to as a mid-level.
Yeah.
I just watch a lot of case study videos.
That really helps.
I didn't feel like I could have contributed conceptually, because like I wanted to do that. I wanted to be conceptual. That's where I felt like my strengths lied. By doing so, I watched a lot of case studies.
Dope.
One is the Shave to Remember.
Yeah.
And you inspired. You're like, cool. And after watching, I can't even count how many I've seen. You start picking up patterns. Like, oh, this one because of this thing, or it had a good idea. They solved the problem.
Yes.
And then and in my head, I started breaking down like why this won award.
Yeah.
And then you start getting an opinion. There's certain ones that won a gold. You're like, what? Listen, I don't feel like it deserves a gold because of. And again, it becomes a personal preference.
Yes.
And that's the unfortunate thing about ideas and creativity. It is subjective,
Absolutely.
but it does require like the heavyweights of the world to stand around and like, cool, we're judging this work according to these criterias, which is why Cannes Lions is I was doing the math here.
Yeah.
To get a shortlist in certain categories, you're looking at a 10% chance.
Hectic.
A 10% chance.
Hectic.
And the reason why, I'll bring it up here,
Yeah.
is I went through two categories already. The audio, radio category and outdoor. The audio, the outdoor category has 2,053 entries, which resulted in 146 shortlists, 29 bronze, 20 silvers, 12 golds, and 4 Grand Prix. It's 4 because it's like it was a campaign. That's why it was 4. So in actual it's 2. They normally just award 1 Grand Prix.
Yeah.
But that ratio, you're looking at 10% as a shortlist, a 3% chance of getting a gold.
Wow.
So
3%.
3% chance.
That is wild.
And this is just based on the amount of entries versus what gets converted.
Yeah.
So to get any of these medals, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Lurie's also a tough award
Yes.
to crack into, but to get anything, even a shortlist, is
It's
a phenomenal feat.
It really is. Hey.
It is. So and just to for those who don't know about the advertising world, that's what we do. We think of ideas, people need to buy into it. When the audience sees like crappy ads, they're like, oh, what marketing team was involved with this? Dude, I was in my head thinking like there's average like 50 to 100 people behind each campaign.
Yeah.
Like if you were to count the amount of people getting involved,
Yes.
easily 50 to 100.
Production,
Everyone
client.
in there had to
Yeah.
be involved.
Absolutely, yeah.
There was a time I was working on one of the clients. I won't say who it is, but a 30-second ad, and they literally looked at frame per frame of the ad, and they're like, "Oh, this frame doesn't look right."
Wild.
And that's what you deal with.
Yeah.
That's our lives.
World. That's our world. You're right.
Yeah.
And I just want to touch on one of the things you mentioned when you started talking about this topic is looking at the work that's winning. Right. I think that's also one of the cultures we need to bring back into advertising for the younger ones, for the mid-senior directors, is I remember when I was a junior, I mean, we used to huddle around an office with, our CDs and ECDs at the time and actually watch ads, right? How many times have you been to like a cinema where we're not watching movies, we're watching
We're watching ads.
That's our world, right? Like we make these really beautiful pieces. But to your point, sometimes, I mean, client is the one paying, so they will definitely, they want to make sales, so they want the ad to be
Yes.
a person holding the product.
Unfortunately,
right?
that's the reality of it.
That's the reality, but it's also, as from a creative point of view, how do we make that person holding the ad look dope, right? It's also, we need to also find a way to work our magic into that, world that feels so dark, right? But I think that culture of, watching ads the way you do, right? And you are really passionate about it. You're one person that, I feel like you're the Can Lions library guy. Like you're the professor of that, right? And I love it. I love it for you. I love it for us. I love how it comes into our everyday chats at work. But I think we need to bring that back and actually inspire people, make people want to win awards. I love what they're doing, guys. People are just like, no, how is it that there's actually awards for adverts in Cannes? I love that, they are keeping the culture of creativity alive,
Yes.
guys. We need to give them that. Whether, it costs all of 55 million to go to Cannes, we can't go there. Most of us can't afford to go there, right? I mean, as a young creative, I wanted to go there, and I wanted to make an ad that will help me go there. I still haven't been there, but that doesn't stop me as an individual to be as creative as possible on my, in my everyday life in South Africa, right? I believe that also as Africans, like we have so much creativity.
Oh,
Our
tons.
ideas are so dope, whether they're in vernac, whether they come in the form of vernac or English. Like we are really, really creative. And I think if we believe in ourselves a bit more, our work will eventually go there. But we already know through the Lurie's platforms that, guys, we're brilliant, right? In craft, in storytelling. Storytelling, guys, like Africans are great with storytelling.
That's our thing.
Like, think of the ads like from back in the day, the SABC One ad where they had that contrast and reversed roles where it was a white man walking in the streets and then it was a black lady in a Mercedes-Benz, and as the white man walked, you remember that ad?
I do.
Like, guys,
I do.
we are really brilliant, and we've been brilliant, and I feel like we just need to own that and just be great again.
I mean,
And
I want to just say, man, preach, because we have so much potential, and it's ways of working. Like, and just going back to your point, we do need to sell, that product. That's the age old thing of advertising.
Yeah.
Our job is to make that not boring.
Yeah.
There's a really great thing I heard from my ex-colleague Greg Watts. Shout out. And he was saying is like it's almost like back in the days, it's like watching an ad is like you're watching a TV show and someone rings your doorbell, taking your attention away from what you're watching. And when you go up to that door, this thing better be exciting because you pissed me off by stopping what I'm watching and, make it good.
Yeah.
We are trying our best as creatives in advertising to make that ad not just an ad. We just, like, say, for instance, case in point, Nando's and Chicken Licken. It's chicken.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's chicken. But, like, they are doing dope work. All creatives look towards that and say, I also want to make that. We all do. But,
Absolutely.
not all clients are open to it, unfortunately, because they have their own KPIs. What is a key? I'm giving something indicators, performance indicators.
Dope.
Thank God I remember that. That'll be so embarrassing.
No.
But everyone, that's the reality of it. But we are trying to have fun. There are those briefs that come in and you're like, cool, have fun. That is a creative's dream. To do that.
Absolutely.
Cool. So a lot of the times, we always fixated on awards, but there's also those things called proactive. And I remember when I was growing up, in my career, that word always gave me the shivers.
Yeah.
Because we were always sort of like, okay, cool. Over and above all the work that you're doing, you need to do proactive. And proactive is work that is not in the system. It is a selfish thing as creatives because we want to win those awards. And hopefully, and as I mentioned earlier on, it's like almost like your stars have to be aligned. That everyone has to jump on board, be excited about it, and sell that thing.
Yeah.
I remember what I wanted to say. You made the thing like, oh, I want to be at Cannes.
Yeah.
As a creative, you can't pay for that. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
And just to give the people a bit more context, Cannes happens in Nice, France. It's this beautiful summer-like vacation, and a bunch of creatives just have fun.
Yeah.
It's a whole week-long thing. There's seminars. There's Ryan Reynolds was in one of them. Celebrities, they're giving their inspirations. Every creative want to be there, but you cannot afford it other than cracking a good idea, entering it, which is also expensive, but if it converts, everyone's happy.
Absolutely.
Client's happy, your agency's happy, you're happy. So again, I had that love-hate relationship towards awards, and hence the podcast, because I also want to find, what has award done for people, and hearing from you is so inspiring.
It's really great.
I love watching them. I always feel like I'm on the sidelines, and I like to get the different nuances, the different tactics you had done. So maybe we can all learn from it and see what we can do on our side to convert into ideas.
Yeah. So like, there's really not like a set in stone strategy, right? It's almost like you almost take a chance, right, with awards. It feels like you're literally taking a chance. But
you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah, you're putting yourself out there, literally, right? So I think what I have picked up on is, that one thing that speaks to your heart is that one of the things that, some of the things that win at like Cannes or Lourdes, so an idea that you're really passionate about, right? Something that touches you, something that you're willing to fight for, Once you have that idea, you know what it feels like, as a creative. Something can look pretty, but if there's no emotion to it, and if you don't feel like this is gold, then you know already before you even enter whether it's a good idea or not, right? But I love the fact that, we as the creatives can still have that hunger for wanting to win. Because, guys, every day we make ads, right? The advert, guys, like, to be honest. But still having that magic to really bring an idea to life and enter it into awards is something that we need to keep doing. Because as creatives, guys, we don't want to die a slow, painful death where you are making key visuals per radio.
Print ads.
Like,
click to buy.
Like, you need to bring a bit of Chan into the world of advertising, right? Who is Chan? What does Chan stand for? And I think also when they're probably judging at Cannes, they look for that soul in the advert.
What's different?
Right?
And what you bring to the table is different.
Yes, exactly. But emphasis on soul. That idea has to have a soul. And it needs to touch someone who's judging. Right?
Exactly.
Nothing can win that is just an ad. Looks cute. It's vibes. Nah. It needs to have that thing, that magic, which is the big idea.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
And just a little bit more light under the end of the tunnel. This year, I don't know if it's this year or last year they started with it, but Cannes opened up a new category of use of humor.
Hectic.
I think that's so lovely because, there was a stage where it's like, yes, the ads were like very heart-wrenching and stuff like that, but it just felt like you want to walk away a bit more optimism. And they released this new category, and there's a few nice ones in there. So within each category, there's a subcategory. So say for instance, outdoor or direct line radio, there is a use of humor, which is so awesome.
I love that.
And then another one is, and this is an age-old one, is, and I wouldn't say it's recent, it's just been a couple of years, but like A Line for Good. You know, your creativity can change people's lives.
Listen.
And they made a complete different category for it. So yes, we are selling products and stuff like that. That you can do, but there's always that goodness that you can bring to the fore.
To the world.
It could be in the pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical also has a category.
Yeah. Hectic.
And those things help people. So
Yeah.
as creators, we have our duty to use our creative thinking, and also in the future is to do something good for others.
Yeah.
Which is so lovely.
That's dope. See, that's why I called you the Ken Lion Extraordinary. Listen, I didn't even know those exist, but I love that touch on humor, the fact that they have that, because I think we were together when it was Anne Rock. I can't remember what her name was, but she was talking about awards that, Ken award-winning work, and she spoke about humor and how people actually buy into humor. We forget that we're talking to human beings. Our consumers are human beings. And guys, humor is everything. Like, you make someone laugh, you've got their heart, right? So I love that they're actually calling out humor as a category and doing good. Guys, we need a bit of good in this world. We need a lot of good, actually, in this world. I mean, we go through a lot. Depression is a thing. In South Africa, in the world, depression is a whole thing. So a category that actually highlights doing good, I feel like is a must, is a need, actually.
I think people just focus on that. Like you get those other ones that selling this, selling cars, selling drinks, beverage, beers. Cool. Let that happen. But if you want to focus all our energies, we can just do for good.
Right. Yeah.
Since we're on this note, I'd like
Yes.
to show you one that was my personal favorite in the audio and radio category.
Dope.
I think this. Let me just double check. I think it might have won in the humor, the use of humor category. Let me
Yeah.
I just want to double check before I show you. So I want to give you very little context. Oh, it's for script, but it's still funny as heck.
Yeah.
So I'll turn my laptop around, and then hopefully someone who edits will put this on the screen, and then yeah.
Dopeness.
What will require is 2 watches, and you'll see why. But have a look and let me know what you think.
At the hint of dawn, a rustling breaks the stillness of the forest. As the sun rises, an otter emerges from the shadows. With a gentle stretch, it spots the perfect place for a morning adventure. The otter's speed towards the riverside hints at what's about to come. Just then, in a swift motion, it lunges in. An arrival so smooth as if the water was always its home. Along the heavy flow of the river, the otter disappears into the depths, leaving behind a sense of wonder. Could it be this easy? With Macrogol Hexol, it is. Macrogol Hexol plus electrolytes. Smooth, laxative relief. Oh, I think I spot another one.
There is no way. That is brilliant.
Good is that?
Oh my goodness.
And why is there, when you watch it again,
Yeah.
it becomes different. Now watch it, and now you've got a new image in your head, and rewatch this, and tell me what.
At the hint of dawn, a rustling breaks the stillness of the forest. As the sun rises, an otter emerges from the shadows. With a gentle stretch, it spots the perfect place for a morning adventure. The otter's speed towards the riverside hints at what's about to come. Just then, in a swift motion, it lunges in. An arrival so smooth as if the water was always its
That
home.
is wild.
Along the heavy flow of the river, the otter disappears into the depths, leaving behind a sense of wonder.
But how good is that?
Like,
The script writing in this.
I love creative people, guys.
This-
Because what do you mean? The writing,
The writing in that is
Listen.
phenomenal.
the storytelling, I visualize that, Otter, like, and it makes sense. When we get to that surprise element of where's the story going, then, that moment, like, it's a turn, guys.
Yeah.
But that storytelling, glorifying laxative, guys.
Look, it's a laxative ad. But it's
No,
so
that's
fun
brilliant.
to watch that. It's so
Like, I
fun
love
to listen to it.
Like,
So yeah, that was my personal favorite
yeah.
in the radio. It won gold. I feel that it was quite a tough category. Radio and audio has always been a tough category. But to win a gold is, again, it's everything. If you've got that, you've basically made it in life, I assume.
Right? I feel
Seeing in
like-
the sidelines, and I think that's what it does for people.
Yeah.
But so
That was brilliant. Yeah,
Eh?
I really love that. Like the power of creativity, guys. That's who we are. We can take something so mundane and just so ew and make it look absolutely beautiful.
laugh about it.
Like that ad is brilliant, guys. It's so simple. It's storytelling, the writing there. Like writers like this, guys, I take my hat off to writers like that, because how is it that you can turn words into visuals, into this beautiful, funny story?
Double meaning.
Right?
You watch, listening it for
Come
the
on
first
now.
time is completely different experience when you do it the second time.
Yeah, but it's also like that element of surprise, which I find is also what most creatives lately are sort of struggling with, is that surprise element, that aha moment. So someone will have such a dope idea and, a dope insight. You're following the story, and then when you get to the end, they're just like, buy this. It doesn't do what this ad is doing, which I feel like, we can learn from these things, right? And I think if we keep listening to this, it'll just be easier. Because, guys, creativity is not easy. Like closing that loop. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, no, that was a good one. That is a good one.
It's my
One of
personal
the-
favorite.
Right. Like also, again, humor, again, like you're saying. If I think of one of the South African radio ads that was really brilliant, it was written by a really dope writer, again, David Kruger, who's absolutely humble, dope creative, was that Lucozade radio ad.
Which one? Is that the one
the
with the
first-
ants and the rallying?
It was the one around, there was a presentation happening, and then after 555 million slides, the
You will still
main
get up.
client
You will stop.
joins the call, and they're like, can you
love that one.
basically go back to slide one? And you have to do it with energy. Love that. But we've got the capability to create these kinds of ads as South African creatives, right? And it's absolutely dope to see.
I think for
hear.
many years, South African who enter into Canada's audio and radio has always been our strong suit.
Yeah.
This year we didn't convert as much, unfortunately. But again, fortunately, we still got a couple of shortlists.
Nice.
Props to those people, because those are very well written in any
Yeah.
case. We had so much fun, in this chat. I'd like to wrap it up by this is a segment I like to call like which brands are having fun. And internationally, Heinz has been doing some very great work. Heinz for me is probably like the new Burger King. For the past couple of years, Burger King has done some phenomenal work.
Yeah.
It just now Heinz tomato sauce, believe it or not, are doing some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
A very quick one is I think it's in America. It's more in America. A lot of those, the small spuzzer fast food joints,
Yeah.
they stopped giving condiments. So they give these whatever a hot dog or something, but they don't give tomato sauce or anything. So Heinz saw that as a problem. So what they did is right outside these stores, they put a display ads. It's just a smaller billboard, but it's on like a street on the pavement side. Billboards. They're not big, but it's just there. But it's big enough to approach it. And what they've done is that it just said Heinz or Smack for Heinz.
Oh.
You slap this thing, and it's like this bottle that's looked like it's come out of the billboard, and you hit it, and then 3 packets of Heinz falls out.
Dope.
That's it.
So simple.
So simple.
That
They
is
solve problem,
Right.
and they solved it by giving away free Heinz.
Listen, I feel like Heinz, you're right. Heinz has become that Burger King that, like, they're making really great work. It's also relatable, right?
Very relatable. So again, that's just like a very quick and easy way of winning awards is find a problem and find a funny way to solve it.
Exactly.
And that's easy one.
Exactly.
Another one is, I think, I'd like to hear what you think. Locally, I feel that Pineapple are doing some fun stuff.
Yeah. Pineapple and Naked, actually. Yeah.
We covered Naked in our previous one.
Oh,
The new
dope.
campaign, was it? Oh man, I know this one. I will drive past the billboard every day. Lose weight.
Oh, I saw that.
Lose weight. I thought that was a lot of fun.
They are having a lot
edgy.
of fun, right? I'm still trying to, they're having a lot of fun. Like, I'm still trying to figure out who the market is. Is it everyone? Because there was also one of the campaigns where they spoke about to these people who listen to this kind of music. Remember that?
So this is Pineapple you're talking about, eh?
This is Pineapple.
So I think for Pineapple, this is where it gets tricky. It becomes subjective because I've noticed quite a lot of Pineapple billboards, and they're phenomenal. They range from the one you're talking about, and they range from like something really funny. I think from seeing all these billboards and piecing it together in my head, they're aiming at millennials. They're aiming at people like us. The one was the one right here in I think Santon Drive. It says less panic, more disco.
Oh, hectic.
So that's obviously riffing off Panic in the Disco as a band. And like, if anyone who knew that, were just millennials.
Yeah.
And I don't expect a Gen Z to know that. But
exactly.
And I feel like they're having the most fun right now on the
They really
billboards.
are. Even the lose weight one, I was just like,
Lose weight,
okay,
genius.
Okay.
But yeah, so those are the ones on my radar. Is there any others that you've spotted? Doesn't have to be local, international. Anyone that you've seen that are having fun?
So, yeah, for different reasons, right? Like, so for instance, if I look at the Chicken Licken ads, guys, like those feel like they're always on trend. You know what I mean? I feel like
So good.
It works on it with a Twitter market, a Facebook market. They work for South Africans. I think they're doing great work, and they should continue doing that because we need those kinds of ideas, guys, you know, and we need clients to see that this is a benchmark, right? We need to be doing this kind of work.
Yes.
Right?
I agree.
So I love it for that.
I agree.
Whatever they're doing at
Job Public.
yes, you know, they're helping they're helping us sell these ads to client better. So they should definitely keep doing that.